Hey everybody, this is Noreen and Free to Heal coming back at you. Okay, so I wanted to talk about something that I think everybody should be paying attention to because it may ultimately affect all of us, and that is the extremist conservatives in this country keep talking about civil war. Now, the question becomes who is the Civil War going to be against? What is that actually going to look like? How will they define who the leftists are? Are they going to just attack minorities? Are they going to attack, as they tried on January 6th, to attack people in government, elected officials? What is it actually going to look like? How is that going to play out? Lately, I've seen a lot of articles about uh, the right wing extremists, who the Oath Keepers and the Proud Boys, and their ideology that there needs to be civil war to save the country. Who are they saving the country from? In this country, in America, undocumented immigrants, black people, brown people, have never had enough power to affect the daily life of poor white people or even middle class. Now, the wealthy have made sure that they have just about decimated the middle class in America. So, this is something that is being produced all across the world. Where there is no middle class, you're either wealthy or you're in a subservient underclass that is primarily poor and subject to the whims of autocrats. It's being taken all over the world. And so under Donald Trump's administration, it received a lot of traction. So now you even have evangelical Christians. They say something like 90 some percent of Republicans think that it is that political violence is not only okay, but that it's necessary to save America. I'm not sure, again, and this is why I'm putting this out there, asking the question and trying to bring attention to it to everybody because we need to be paying attention. Who are they saving America from? I understand the QAnon theory is that leftists want to indoctrinate our kids into being gay and transgender and all of those kinds of things. And I have to just be in 100% honest. I think the fact that every TV show has to have a gay storyline is a bit much. It makes me do this sometimes. I get it. But everybody has a right to be whoever they want to be. But at the same time, nobody's out trying to indoctrinate children into being that way. Again, minorities. What minority do you know that has enough traction and enough power in the United States to affect the lives of other poor white people? It doesn't happen. How can we affect the lives of evangelical Christians? We don't. How would me having an abortion change the life of an evangelical Christian in Oregon? It doesn't. It's none of their business. It doesn't affect them. Me having more children, and it show you the hypocrisy of it, is that poor white people say, I don't want to pay for your abortion. I don't want to pay for your student loan debt. I don't want to pay to take care of your children on welfare, even though the numbers show that there are more poor white people on welfare and receiving food stamps than black people. That makes sense because there's more of them, duh. But we are not the reason that they're struggling, okay? It has always been the wealthy who have convinced them that it is the others that are their problem. So again, the question becomes, what is the Civil War going to look like? Who are they targeting? And is anybody preparing for this? Okay, in my estimation, the media shows this outrage over Lindsey Graham saying that if they indict Donald Trump, there's going to be riots in the streets. Okay, what are they going to look like? When the Oath Keepers and the Proud Boys talk about civil war, again, who are they targeting? Who benefits from a civil war other than autocrats who don't want us to have a democracy in the first place? Infrastructure in poor neighborhoods and in the hollers in the rural areas that are destroyed. Who benefits from that? Who loses? Again, the infrastructure in poor communities, in rural communities, the people who will die, the innocent victims. Because again, I know that January 6th, they were hoping that there would be a lot of Black Lives Matter people out on January 6th opposing Trump. Thankfully, that wasn't the case. So I don't know if their intention was to produce violence, and I guess against those people. When that didn't happen, they obviously went and they planned to attack the Capitol and to try to stop the certification of Joe Biden's victory. So that included not just Democrat politicians, but Republicans as well. So I don't understand, again, what they think this is going to look like. Because let's just follow their train of thought. If you look at the stereotypes in America, in the inner city, there are a lot, we're extremely violent. Minorities are definitely violent. We're heavily armed. Now, of course, the NRA would have poor white people to believe that we don't know how to use those guns. I don't know how we kill all the people that we kill because we're so inherently violent if we don't know how to use them. That doesn't make any sense to me. But that's a rabbit hole I just can't go through. But if we're armed, do you think we're just going to allow you to kill us indiscriminately? This is not the 1800s. So what's that going to do? If you're going to come after women, the government is not going to have that, because it's certainly not Caucasian women. You certainly can't go around just killing indiscriminate women and children, or elected officials, because we do have a government that will come after you for that. The people that will die that have been indoctrinated to believe, that'll be put on the front line to die for this civil war, won't be the Donald Trumps, Michael Flynn, Roger Stones. It won't be them or their children. We see that Donald Trump had bone spurs and never had to go to war. None of his children have fought in any conflict. They haven't been to Afghanistan or anywhere else. So they're not going. So I want to know, what is it going to look like? And listen, hey media, stop playing games for ratings. People's lives are on the line. To the Department of Justice, you need to be looking at, what does this look like? I hope you guys are listening to the chatter to find out what their plans are. You infiltrated the Black Panthers, any black organization we had. You had files on Aretha Franklin. I need you to get on board and find out what these people's plans are. And you need to tell us, because listen, my daddy taught me how to shoot a rifle and a handgun. And I don't own any because I never felt the need to have them, living in the hood. But if I need to get them, I need to know. He taught me how to reload ammunition too. So I have some knowledge. But what I know is, do I need to do that? I need you guys to be telling the truth about this. What is it going to look like? All of this, are you preparing for this? You don't believe that white people will do what they will be violent and do the things. But guess what? January 6th happened. And it was some of these slaps on the hand that they're getting. Oh, that didn't deter anybody. And if Donald Trump and Michael Flynn and Roger Stone and John Eastman and all those people don't go to prison for that, they'll do it again. That was a dress rehearsal. And I want to know, what is it going to look like? Because I want to know what I need to be doing. And everybody else out there, I need you to understand, this is not a joke. And for the most part, I find media is only getting ratings with the outrage. Most of the people I know aren't even paying attention to that. But we need to be paying attention. We need to know how we protect our families. We need to know, those of us that have property, how do we protect our properties? The government, how are you going to protect the infrastructure? And those of you that think you're going to go out there and you're going to overturn the government of the United States because you've been in the military, I think you're foolish. Your families are going to lose you. A lot of you are going to die. Stuart Rhodes said it in his tapes. With or without Donald Trump, he wants civil war. I'm not sure why. Again, my ability to buy a home and live in the hood doesn't affect him. It hasn't taken anything away from him. Even when they had stimulus money, I didn't get none of that money. Okay, let's say this. Let me just be real clear so nobody can ever say I told a lie. I think I got a check for $200 once, and I think I know I got under $300, and all that money everybody was getting. I've been paying taxes since I started working at 19 years old. Been paying taxes, never been on Section 8, never received no relief from nobody. And I'm okay to pay for somebody else to get some food stamps, and get them relief from their student loan debt that's keeping them from being able to qualify to buy a home. And yes, even have an abortion if it means less children coming into the world that can't be taken care of, that can't be fed. And slinging some baby formula and a pack of diapers does not make a child raised. So I'm, again, curious to know, what's it going to look like? Who's the victims? Who's the target? And if the FBI, DOJ, and all of these alphabet boys are not preparing to protect the citizens, then you need to let us know so we can do that for ourselves. But what's it going to look like, y'all? Who's going to benefit? Holla at me, let me know.